situations happen, and we get in drowning man type situations, and we start drowning, and we start looking for things to grab onto. Sometimes we grab onto, I didn't know, nobody told me. So that's why I go with this handbook every year. So we don't have no I didn't know and nobody told me. And that's why I do this, and that's why we do the training that we do, and we do the things that we do, is so that it'll take the I didn't know, nobody told me away from any situation that may occur. Because in my seat, and you all may not see it, but in my seat, it depends on what the situation is. The first thing that we'll default to is I didn't know and nobody told me. So the reason I go with this handbook, so that you will know, and I told you. So I know that you much rather be doing something else, but this is why we do this. And also, if you have any questions, I can clear up any questions. If you feel yourself drifting, so I don't call your name over this microphone, I need you to stand up on your own and move to the side or move to the back or whatever. So if you feel yourself, that's why I turned the lights on. When I came in here, I was like, oh no, it's too cozy in here. I'm not gonna do this like this. All right, now, what I've done, I've tried to highlight some of the things that I want to hit on. So just bear with me. Oh yeah. I don't even need my glasses for that. But my yellow's not showing. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, you just handle that part. No, you're good. All right, I put that amendment section in there because sometimes things change, and there are some things that have already changed. But it just gives me the, I put it in the handbook, and it's a new addition to the student handbook, because we get a lot of, especially from parents, well, that wasn't in the handbook. So we put that amendment clause in there. And if something happens that I need to add something, then I'll do it in the form of an amendment and pass it out or send it home with the kids and things like that. Advisory team, of course, it consists of counselors, administrators, media specialists, ROTC, and department chairs. And of course, we rotate that. We rotated this year. The next rotation will be the 1920 school year. We'll get into the norms when the meeting, so go ahead. All right. All right, when we, you see the after school dismissal, you see announcements posted daily. They need to remain silent doing announcements. And if you PE or fine arts and you can't hear it over the intercom, you need to read the announcements to your students. That's why we'll send you a hard copy as well as do it over the intercom. So if you're in a situation where you don't have an intercom, then you just read it off the hard copy. Until hopefully one day we can get the intercom all over the building. But for now, we don't have that capability, so we'll just do it. All right, attendance. Everybody should have the, what you call that thing? The little blue thing. Key fob. Thank you so much. Key fob. If you don't have a key fob, please see Miss Smith so you can give a key fob. You also should have an icon on your computer. And it's real simple. An icon on your computer, you can clock in and out that way, or you can do the key fob. But everybody, you must clock in and out daily. We need to be here by 7:45 unless you have morning duty. And y'all know we move morning duty from 7:15 to 7:30, about the last quarter of the year, and it seemed to work very good. And we will do that this year, 7:30 instead of 7:15, unless you self-report because you're late. And then if you're late, what does that mean? 7:15 for the rest of that week. And that was the thing we all agreed upon for it to go to 7:30. And you see we got standard 4, talking about the honesty. That's standard 4 in the code of conduct for, not code of conduct, but the PSC ethics. So we put that in the handbook. That's where the self-report and all that stuff comes in. All right, make sure that you check out, sign in and out daily. Okay, that's our accountability piece. If you do not have the icon on your computer, just notify Ms. Smith and we'll get them to put it on there. Or you can put it on there yourself. On your little card, it tells you the website. If you go there, then you can just, right click and then you can put that icon on your computer. But just make sure we sign in and out every day. I check the sign-ins, I check them daily, I get a report daily. So just please make sure you sign in and out. All right, we're gonna try something new this year with substitutes. I don't know if I mentioned it at the end of last year, but we're gonna give everybody a substitute list and you're gonna be responsible for your own subs this year, okay? So what that means, that when you call your sub, you need to make sure you tell your sub where to get your lesson plans. You have to check the sub list. Use only approved subs on the list. We will provide you the list. Call subs and tell them when and where to report. They must sign in and out with Miss, if you don't know, Miss Sheldrick has resigned her position, so we're gonna have to fill that position. So that's one of the changes we're gonna have to make. So right now it's Ms. Ogden until we get that position filled. Inform subs that may arrive by 7:45 and they'll work until 3:30 unless they need unless it's just a half a day. Have lesson plans on your desk for subs and email them to your department heads. Call or text whoever that replacement is. Right now it's Ms. Ogden, and inform her that you're absent and who your assigned sub is. So you'll let Ms. Ogden know that you'll be absent and who that sub that we should be expecting. Teacher paperwork and sub paperwork must be turned in to Ms. Ogden. That means your paperwork saying that you're going to be out. All right, in situations, if no sub is available, we kind of did this during testing last year. We're going to develop today an emergency placement plan, which if we cannot get a sub, then your students will be divided amongst your department. Okay, we went to that a little bit during testing. So we will develop an emergency lesson plan. For example, if I can't get a sub, or a sub is not available for me, then my plan already states that first period, if I'm in English, okay, and my first period children, Ms. Brown again, if I got, how many English teachers we got? Guess the mic's not like that either. Is that the battery? All right. I too, like Dr. Henry, was blessed with a voice that loves to talk, so I really don't need a mic. If I'm in English and I got six, we got 6 of us in English, let's do 5. We got 5 in English, and I got 20, I got a class with 20. So that means how many of my students go to each one of my English teachers? 4. All right, that's my responsibility. So 4 of my students will divide it amongst those 5 English teachers. Now what I have to do is make sure if I've got 4 and Ms. Brown has 30 kids in her class, that means she needs to get 4 more chairs so she can accommodate my 4 students. Okay? That is my responsibility. Okay? So today we will get the department chairs. I'll get with you after this. You'll get up, and for each class, we'll divide them up just in case for some reason you cannot get a sub. All right, you will notify your department heads before school and inform them of your absence. Guess the projector don't like it either. Inform them of the absence. Department head will notify the department administrator. The department administrator will activate, the department administrator will activate the emergency placement plan for each period. So if you get a sub, then it's a non-issue. If for some reason you cannot get a sub, then that's when we activate the emergency plan. Yes, sir.
Dr. Gray, what about a situation where you're on a approved school field trip or something like that and you go get a sub?
Yeah.
Still have to do this?
Yes, sir. But good thing about that is you got, you're supposed to notify 2 weeks in advance anyway. So if I'm understanding you right, that's for anything other than testing. Because testing requires 10 subs and all that. We'll take care of that. But anything, field trips, staff developments, and anything like that, then you'll get your sub. So what you're gonna have to do, if you know you're gonna be out, you need to get on that list and you need to get your sub, and then you need to notify, and right now it's Ms. Ogden, and let them know that you got a sub, this is who the sub is, my lesson plans are on my desk, and then we'll go on from there. Any questions on this? Yes, ma'am.
Like if I know that right now, November the 10th, I'm gonna be gone.
Yes, ma'am.
I could go ahead and call and get that squared away.
Absolutely.
So I'd be on the top of that list.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then what you can do is now you can talk directly to that sub about what you want done. If you have a sub that you like, you have a good relationship with, and you know some of us want particular subs in our classes, you can call that sub and work all that out. So and the earlier you know, the better. And you go ahead and then you notify, in this case it's Ms. Ogden right now, you notify her like on November the 10th I'm gonna be out, and Alan Gray is my sub, and then we go from there. Any questions? Everybody good? All right, thank you. All right, 9 weeks counseling sessions. We have a list of things. We'll just talk to you about that in the 9-week counseling sessions. All right, go up. All right, go back. Other way, yeah, thank you. All right, during the 9-week counseling session, faculty, staff, tardies will be counted if the total amount of minutes, talking about tardies, we have to arrive at school on time. If the total amount of minutes equal a quarter day or more, that time will be deducted from your personal leave. If there is no personal leave available, that total amount of time tardy will be deducted from your pay. The reason that is because when you're on salary, you're already paid. You're paid before the time. And when you're on salary and you're paid before the time, then you're saying, because I'm paid before the time, you're saying I'm gonna be at school, I'm gonna be at work on time every day. So if for some reason you're tardy, you've already been paid for that time. So that's how you have to recoup that time if it adds up to a certain amount of time. Any questions on that? All right, teachers are expected to record all time missed from the school day. You come in late, leave early, you must complete a personal, professional, or sick leave form. The appropriate leave form must be complete or correct. Notify your department chair and administrator. Use appropriate form to request personal and professional leave. Absent the day before and after a holiday will not be approved unless you come and talk to me. And we do have extenuating circumstances sometimes, but before or after a holiday, I will not approve it. If something comes up, it's a case-by-case thing. So you come to me. There have been times when situations have come up that you needed to leave before a holiday, but make sure you come and speak to me about it. Professional learning days, and Only administrators can approve sending an unsupervised class to an alternate location. All right, go on up. All right. Just glance at our cheating policy. Checkout. The only big thing I want to emphasize on checkout is that grade book, the blue hard copy, no summative reports. You know, we tried to go to the summative reports. Again, that did not work. Can somebody tell me why do we keep a hard blue copy? Can somebody tell me why we do that?
The system goes down.
So if the system goes down, and for some reason that system goes down, then we have a copy of the grades and everything can keep functioning. That's why you do your grades and your blue book. What's happening at the end of the year, some of us are waiting and running some of their reports at the end of the year. Well, if the system goes down and we're waiting on some of the reports, then what does that mean? It means we don't have any grades. So we're just going to give everybody the blue grade book. You need to just do it the old-fashioned way. As you put grades in, record them in your blue grade book. So if that system crashes, we have grades. So the only thing we're going to accept at the end of the year is the blue hard copy grade books. Make sure you keep up with your contact logs. Make sure that you keep up with your inventory and also those fundraiser reports. Those of you that have fundraisers, you know this Cave is always asking for those fundraiser reports. So make sure you keep up with that. All right? Go ahead and say that. All right, classroom procedures. Monitoring, we all have to be in the halls before school, between classes, to monitor behavior and dress codes. Classroom doors, please keep them locked when unoccupied. During class, students should be in your class unless they are called to the office. Students are not allowed to use teacher computers. Let me say that again. Students are not allowed to use teacher computers. Students are not to be left unsupervised in your rooms. Teachers should avoid being alone with a student. Be sure to leave the class door open whenever there is only one student in your room. So please don't, just save yourself a lot of trouble. Should be in there along with the student. Teachers set the example for the faculty dress code. Teachers will set example for students during announcements, pledge, and moment of silence. So during announcements, let's please make sure those students are listening and you set the example for that. So make sure that they hear the announcements because we always, when students miss something or parents miss something, I always say, well, we announced it, and then we'll have students talking about, well, my class is so loud, or I didn't hear the announcements, or things like that. So you start from day one, making them being quiet, doing announcements, then they can hear everything that we are announcing. All right, all celebrations must be teacher-led. No homemade food or drink. Exception as long as it's made by the teacher. And the teacher must purchase and bring the supplies to school. Students will not be allowed to bring supplies to school. Why do we do that? Why do we say no homemade food? Allergies and what else? They put stuff in it. If you had a report last year, they made them brownies and put marijuana for medicinal purposes, they claim, but they put things in food, and we just cannot afford to have that happen. And like you said, somebody may be allergic to something or anything like that. So that's why all celebrations must be teacher-led. Okay, go ahead. All right, code of conduct. The code of conduct is a progressive code of conduct, and it's everybody's responsibility to help with the code of conduct. There's no such thing as that's not my student, or as a student that you're not my teacher. There's no such thing as that. If they're in this building, and whether they're in the hallway or not address them when they're doing something they don't have any business. And again, if they become confrontational, please don't get into a confrontation with them. You just notify us. Our camera systems are pretty good. We can even if a student run away or try to duck out or something, our camera system is pretty good, so we can locate them and identify them. All teachers are expected to know, support, follow, and enforce the code of conduct in its entirety in all situations involving our students. Application of the 6-step plan and a target plan is expected, which we'll get into that a little bit later. Y'all know we have the copiers in your rooms. You can run on those copiers. You can run, a lot of copies. Before we had the cartridges, and so we had to limit the copies on the cartridges. But now they're digital. So if you don't run your test and all that, you can run them right in your room. Now they don't do all the fancy things like our copiers, like punch holes and all that kind of stuff. But if you don't need that and you need a large amount of copies, you can run them on your digital office equipment. All right, duty stations, we talked about those. Supervision of students is a full-time endeavor. In addition to supervising students in the classroom, all teachers are expected to provide supervision at specific duty stations in the following manner. Okay, so we have our different duty stations in the mornings and the afternoons. Please take that supervision seriously. In the mornings, let's please refrain from grading papers and things of that nature, because we need eyes on the kids. Because if I'm looking down or I'm grading papers, then anything that I do is reactive instead of proactive. So if my eyes are up and I see a disagreement going on and my eyes are up, then I can get to it proactively instead of after everything is broken out. And then also, if I have to write a statement about what happened, if I'm on duty and I'm looking down and I don't see what happened, I say, well, if it's a fight, well, what happened? We can't be, we just have to see what happened. Can't be saying I was grading papers, so all I heard was fussing, especially if we're on duty. All right, when the scheduling conflicts occur, if you have to be absent for any reason, it's up to you to find a replacement to cover your duty stations. Y'all in the past, y'all have worked pretty well with each other. Mr. Young is no longer here. He was the morning duty guy because he got here early and he didn't mind covering, but he's no longer here, so that's not possible. So if you're out, just make sure that you get somebody to cover your duty. Then again, the self-reporting. All right, go up. Emergency plan folders. We need to make sure that we have an emergency sub-plan. I can't tell you how many times last year emergency came up and there was no lesson plans. There were no lesson plans available. So make sure you have at least 5 days of instructions, copies, and everything that you need, your roster, seating charts, your bail schedule. It tells you everything that you need. And the department chair needs to know where your folders are located, and a hard copy should be turned into the front office. All right, so we're gonna check though, because there were several situations where we had subs down there with no lesson plans, and that can't happen. All right, dress code. The biggest thing for us, we can't do any denim. I'm not even touching women in their shoes. In my first year, I made that mistake. And boy, did I catch it. I didn't realize you all were, women were so, what did I say? No, it had to be enclosed and it couldn't have a toe hole or something going on. I was like, good Lord. So just, we ain't gonna, but a lot of times with the flip-flops and things like that, all of this comes from the board, and the biggest thing with flip-flops and toes out is just for workman's comp. That's all that is. So if you kick your toe or something, you got some kind of protection. So that was the whole purpose with the no flip-flops and things like that, okay? So just adhere to that. The biggest thing is no denim, and you know, you cannot wear the tights without the skirt. You know, so you can wear the tights, but you have to have a dress over it. You can't just come in here with the tights and that's it. So I have a question. What you got? I ain't seen no guys with tights. Have you seen guys with tights around here? I ain't seen no guys with tights. Now they pointing at you, Coach. I don't know. I've never seen Coach English in tights. But I know, y'all know what I'm talking about. You can wear them, I guess leggings, I guess is what I'm saying. Y'all help me out, I don't know what you call them. But you can wear them as long as you have the skirt. You just can't come in here with them on without that skirt. That's nothing new. I'm just reminding you. Just dress professionally, and then you won't have any problems. You know, our PE teachers and dance teachers, they can wear clothing that fit their job responsibilities. All right, phone usage. Just be careful with your cell phones. You can't walk around. I don't even think, do they wear the head, the Bluetooth, them things around their neck? I don't even think they wear those no more. Please don't allow the students to use our classroom telephones. All right? So if students have to use the phones, then you can, like y'all do, set them up to the office. And then we don't need to be sitting on the phones. You know, we don't need to be sitting on the phones when we should supposed to be on instructional time. If there's an emergency, then either one of the administrators or an assistant instructor will come and cover your class so you can take care of your emergency. You just let us know if you have an emergency. All right, assistant instructors. Assistant instructors, for those you don't know, is a teacher that somewhere in their schedule it has allowed me to give them a period to help us in the hallways, to monitor the hallways, check the restrooms, and to cover a class or to go in and assist the teacher where needed. That person will report to the office, have a radio, and they'll just walk that period. They come upon a student, they need to ask that student for his or her pass. If they do not have a pass, then they escort that student to the office. Or if I see us, if I'm an assistant instructor and I'm going through the cafeteria as a student at the vending machine, I guarantee that student don't have a pass to the vending machine. So that student is is in the off-limits area. You bring them and then they go on the pass restriction list. The pass restriction list is a list for students that do not, we find them in the off-limits area, and then they'll be escorted everywhere that they go from that point on. All right, field trips must be taken for meeting curriculum objectives. You allow one out-of-town trip per year. All bus requests must be turned in at least 2 weeks prior to the date of the trip to Ms. Smith or an administrator. Now that thing right there is, we do not do a good job with that. We'll come in the day before, 2 days before. So if you have a trip and you know you're going to have it, go ahead and do your bus request, especially with the shortages that we have on drivers. If you wait a day before, 2 days before, or a week before, and I call Mr. Conaway, and he said that he cannot support that trip, then hopefully you or if it's something in athletics or something that take a trip, hopefully you or one of your people have their bus license. All right, and that's something that we've kind of let drop off We got to get back on it so we can get all of you all that need it CDL certified, because we do have a shortage and we don't want to be canceling trips. So I'm saying now, for my coaches and my activity people, we need to get back on getting those CDLs. I know some of you all, but I can count on one hand the number of people who completed, because Ms. Conway gives me a report. And I don't know how many of y'all have taken the test, but y'all got the material. We've been doing this since last year, and it kind of dropped off. I think we all took the classes, but the other part, as far as taking the test and then going for the hours of driving, we've kind of dropped off on that. All right, bus requests can be accessed online. We'll send you a copy of them if you don't have them. Have to be completed. You cannot transport students because of insurance purposes and the policy in your personal vehicle. Field trips with only one student require bus transportation. And I know it's, oh, that's ridiculous and all that, until you get one and have an accident and then you being sued, okay? Yes, sir.
The one trip per year, is that out of town as a assignment field, or is that an overnight trip, or what is that?
We can talk about it. It's case by case. Because you'll have things that happen in your thing, as long as it's curriculum related, we can talk about that. That's not a problem. All right, we have to send that roster. If you've got a student going on a field trip, send that roster at least 1 week. Teachers should review that list and determine if there are any students on the list that are in danger of failing for the year, so they immediately reply to the email and let the faculty member know. If that field trip sponsor received 2 or more replies on the same student, then that student is not eligible to go on that particular trip. The faculty member should then revise the original field trip roster and resend the updated roster to the faculty. So, and I'll let students know, if you're not doing what you're supposed to in class and you're not passing, then you don't need to be missing no class going on a field trip. So I'll reemphasize that to the students. Minimum of 5 days notice to the faculty is required. No local planned trips or activities may be scheduled 2 weeks prior to the main administration of the milestones. This does not apply to GHSA activities, because we have no control over GHSA activities. Any questions so far? Okay, I know this is nothing new. Students have to be in dress code or remain in dress code during all field trips and school-related activities. 1 year I had a trip, I had a group go to, I think it was the fair. And it was a couple groups that went. So one group, they stayed in dress code the whole time. The other group, they got on the bus and then they let the kids change their clothes. These teachers now, they let the kids change their clothes. But they forget that there's a camera on the bus. So I call them in. And I say, y'all let those kids change their clothes? No. I don't know what you talking about. No, those kids in dress code the whole time. I don't know what you talking about. No, then they looked at each other. Well, did those kids stay in dress code the whole time? Yeah, they stayed in dress code the whole time. But what happened, the other group that was in dress code on the same trip saw the other students that were not in dress code. They couldn't wait to get back to school and run in my office and say, I thought we were supposed to be in dress code the whole trip. I said, you are? Well, that other group wasn't in dress code. So I called over, get Ms. Conway to send me the tape. Oh no, they were in dress code. So I said, all y'all come around the desk right here. And I hit the tape. That was that look. I said, now y'all, one boy had a big old hole in his jeans. Way big. said, y'all didn't see that? And then, you know, on the bus, if you stand right by the door, you can hear the conversation and you can see right outside the door. They had a meeting. I said, look, y'all having a meeting right here. You mean tell me y'all didn't see these kids how to dress code? Again, nobody told me, I didn't know. So we in dress code doing the trip. Okay, we can't accept personal checks. Everything must be in cash and money orders, and again, make sure we give receipts. All right, keep going, keep going. Fundraisers, keep going. All right, fundraisers. All right, all members involved in raising money for any reason must adhere to the following: attain approval. Y'all should have already submitted your fundraising request. If you knew and you have not, then you can submit them, and because they have to be board approved. Items may not be sold during the school day, nor between classes or lunch. Fundraising items may be sold before and after the school day. Y'all know the new law came out, especially with like donuts and things like that. That new law come out where you couldn't do donuts during the school day, and then it had to be 30 minutes at the end of the day. That's that federal law that came out under the Obama administration, and it has not been appealed yet. So we're still up under that. And it's a healthy fine if you're caught breaking that rule, because they're fighting student obesity. So that's why all of that, you know, I even got with the snacks in the machine, if they show up here, I even got a notebook that I got to show them of what we sell in the snack machines. So that was all part of that act right there. You got so many fundraisers allowed per year. They cannot last more than 2 weeks because we got other people that want to do fundraisers. All right, make sure you complete your fundraiser report after each fundraiser, because they will be requested at checkout. And again, we can't accept checks. These got to be cash or money order.
That include us too, Dr. Gray?
What's that?
The check. Like I've written a check every year for my yearbook.
No, teachers are fine.
Okay.
Teachers are fine. I know where to find y'all. It's just these parents that write these checks. But yeah, teachers, we accept them from board employees. All right, any questions on fundraisers? All right, go ahead. All right, grading, go back. All right, that's just our grading. We're on a 100-point grading scale. We go A, B, C, or F. On our grading, we are required each 9 weeks to have at least 10 daily assignments and at least 3 assessments per 9-week period. You can have more, you just can't have less. So make sure that we have at least 10 daily assignments and at least 3 assessments. You can have more, but you just can't have less. When it's deemed necessary to post a grade lower than a 59, you can just come and discuss that with me. And the reason why we don't go lower than a 59, why we don't go lower than a 59. Say it, who said that? What'd you say?
It'll mess them up for the rest of the year.
Yeah, some of them can't climb out of it mathematically. So that's why we don't go lower than a 59. And you know, with our demographic, if they ever figure out that I'm lower than a 59 and mathematically I can't pass, then they're gonna shut down on us, okay? Just keep our parent contact documentation. You know, you can go into Infinite Campus, and if you don't know where, we can help you, and it'll keep up with your parent contact. You can just put it right in Infinite Campus, and then when you need it, you can just print it. It'll give you can put your day, put time, you can put comments over there about what that'll save you time on paper. But anyway, in this handbook, there is some forms that you just print right out of it. There's contact logs and all that kind of stuff. Y'all know we're composed of 2 semesters. We got our 9-week periods. We got our progress reports, report cards. We have all that on the calendar. We got our exams at the semester. Now we don't do we just do 1 semester exam, right? Yeah, we just do 1. Okay, all right, going up. All right, that's our grading for AP and courses. That's our percentages. For Ms. Moore asked me the question about you know, everybody has those milestones. So those that have those milestones, you have 2 of them. You do not have to do an SLO. Okay, so math, science, social studies, and English. I think most of y'all have at least 2 milestones. So the only ones we doing SLOs is fine arts, PE, was that it? CTAE, so, and Spanish. Can't leave Spanish out. So that'll be the only groups that's doing SLOs. And we want to give SLOs, we're going to try to give them at least the first week, if not the second week of school. So we need to try to get that out, get that done as quickly as possible.
Who has control of that? Can teachers walk down on day 2 and say, I'd like to get my SLOs and give them to them?
Yeah, how do we do that, Ms. Ingram? Can they?
Well, Aldra sends me a list of when we can start giving them.
Okay.
And then the teacher that has the SLO will come to me and get your blank copy and make the copies of the SLO, and then I'll keep them, and then you check them out on the day that you want to get them.
All right, well, let's get with her and see when that
I've already
window
sent
is.
her an email.
Okay. And then we'll get you the window, and we'll have them ready to hand out. But I know y'all like to get them real quick, so y'all can get that behind you.
That's right.
Yes.
I teach civics, and there's not a milestone for civics, so I do the SLO for civics.
Don't you teach? You got U.S. history, right?
Yes, this year, yeah.
Okay. How many U.S. histories do you have?
2 of them.
There you go. So you don't have to give a milestone for civics, unless you want to. You want to? Okay. I can give you one, but you don't have to for civics. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Moore, for bringing that to my attention, because I was not tracking that. And then those of you give milestones, you only have to give it to 2 classes, right? Is that correct?
No.
What I say? SLOs. Yeah, you only have to give that to 2 classes. Is that correct? SLOs?
Well, it just depends. You kind of need to give it, I don't know, you kind of need to give it to all of them because they earn exemptions based on it at the end of the year.
Okay.
But you need, at the beginning of the year, pick your 2 classes that you want to have your student growth measure done by. You see,
okay.
it kind of becomes an issue when at the end of the year, kids earn exemptions and other kids don't. You see what I'm saying? Just because it happened to be a class you didn't pick.
I'm
So
trying.
how you want to work that. But
I'm trying. Okay. All right, Infinite Campus. Now, this is another thing that some of us have dropped off. Getting those assignments in Infinite Campus, with it 5 days and 10 days for tests. Now, that's something we all agreed on a few years ago. And y'all said it, for classroom work, 5 days, for tests, 10 days. And y'all have no idea how many people, or some parents come to me and they'll tell me during open house, you know, I had no idea what my child's grade was until I came today. And that's in like progress report time. Because the teachers, and they check those parent portals, and that's the purpose of the parent portal. And I'm a parent, and I check that portal. Some of you all are parents, and y'all check that portal. And I want those, you know, and the worst thing that can happen is I'm sitting there thinking that Ashley's got a 90, and then in progress report, she's down to a 76. And I've been tracking the 90 the whole time. And what happens is they put, I'm not saying this happened, I'm just using that as an example. What happened is they rushed to put grades in at the last minute. So as a parent, I'm tracking a 90, I get the progress report, it's a 76, and that's an issue. Because I could have been working with her the whole time. So make sure that we're 5 and 10, and we update, we keep them grades in Infinite Campus.
Dr.
Okay,
Ray,
ma'am.
the other thing about SLOs too, one of the reasons Aldrin then waited till a little bit later to do them is because as far as the state is concerned, those of you that have SLOs, you have to input that data in Infinite Campus. And for every child that you have enrolled in your class, they have to have an SLO grade. So what happens is, if we give the test too early, we have so many schedule changes. And if you give that SLO test too early, unless that child moved in during like the last 20% of the school year, you've got to have a grade for them. And so I'd say she's probably not going to open it till second week of school or after that, just because of all the schedule changes. Because then what's going to happen is it's going to mess you guys up trying to keep having to go back and retest all these other kids.
Now what, yes, sir.
Yes. The point of SLO is to, I mean, hopefully have them not know anything when the very first go.
Right.
So I have to start teaching at some point.
Right.
And so in the past, I've taught what's known as SLO, because I had to get started.
Right.
And that caused a big problem.
Right.
Because it messes with the
Right.
grade.
Right. Well, one thing we've tried to do this year with schedule changes, I know in the past, the reason why schedule changes were so continuous or extended, because we do 5 days in the summer, and parents come up and kids do schedule, but once, if y'all help me out here, but once school started, we would send the schedule change forms to the homeroom teachers, and then we allow students to change their schedule. Well, with me spreading out the milestones and me trying to keep classes at a certain number, then I've changed that. So now we'll pass those slips out, but the students got to bring a parent in order to get the schedule changed. We're not just going to let the students say, I just want to change my schedule. So I compare my schedule with my boy, Mr. Underwood here, and we looking and he's got one math and I want to be in math with him, you know. And even though we do make them write down why they want to change schedules, but we're going to make the parents come in. So hopefully, and we're only going to do it for that 1 week, so hopefully we can go ahead and solidify those rosters and then move on, because we're not going to keep extending class change, because that was another issue, because they had so much time to change schedules, you couldn't cut the rosters off, in turn delaying the time to give the SLOs. So hopefully this will help. All right, go ahead. All right, internet, just make sure that we follow all the rules and make sure we keep school-related stuff on the internet, and again, keep those students off our computers, and we should be okay. Because Charles will send me an email. He has that thing called Imperial, and in that Imperial, if something comes up on the you pull up something or a student pulls up something on the internet, it'll give him an alert. And then he can look at it, because it's certain, what sets that thing off is certain keywords. And when one of those words are, comes up, then it notifies him, he looks, and then he shoots me an email. So just make sure that we're following the internet use policy. Lay coaches, we don't do lay coaches. And while we're talking about that, volunteers, if you have anybody that's involved with students, if you have anybody that's coming in that's involved with our students, you need to make sure that they are on approved volunteer lists. So if you know of someone that's going to be directly involved with the students, then I have a form here, and it tells you the things that they need to do to become a volunteer. So if you got somebody, you can get this form from me or Ms. Smith, and they have to be on that volunteer list before they can interact with our students. All right, that's a board policy. Anybody from outside that's going to interact with students, they have to be on that volunteer list. Okay? Any questions on that?
Coach, our booster club presidents and stuff, they need to be on that list.
Now when I say, but they don't really interact with the kids, do they?
You're talking about coaching them up or giving them
Yeah, like some type of, you know, I'm bringing in this person and they're going to, I don't know, they're going to be doing drills and whatever, and they dealing directly with the students. You bringing them in, contracting them or whatever, and they're dealing directly with the kids. They're going to have contact with the students. They have to be on the approved volunteer list, or they cannot do it. Okay? Yes, sir.
Even vendors from like tool companies and stuff like that?
No. When you talking about coming in, demonstrating tool, no, sir. But I'm bringing in a guy and we're building a house or something, and he's going to be directly showing kids, you know, how to frame and lay brick or whatever, then he has to be on the approved list. But if you're bringing a vendor in and y'all looking at tools or things like that, not at all. Just any of them that's going to be directly involved with students. Those are good questions. Any other questions? Okay, thank you. Lesson plans, y'all know we must have our lesson plans, and then we'll give you further, you know, we'll send them in and all of that. Our makeup policy, you know, students are allowed to make up within a certain time. You need to have your makeup workstation and all of those things. Money, Ms. Parker has talked to us about money. Can't say it enough. Make sure we do those requisitions, make sure we do those POs, and make sure that we give receipts, and then make sure we get the money into Ms. Parker in a time. How much time they got before they're supposed to submit money? We like to do it daily, so you don't have it and it come up missing. But what's a per week? Okay, daily or per week? Okay, so if it's a continuous thing, like I'm collecting, what would be continuous? Maybe debts or IDs or something like that. So each week we should have a deposit, right? Okay. All right, no smoking. Y'all, we don't smoke. We don't smoke on campus. This is a tobacco-free campus. We don't run out to our cars and light up right quick and come back in or go around the block and light up, you know, get you a patch or some gum or whatever we need to do. But this is a smoke-free campus, so we can't use tobacco products or anything like this. It's a tobacco-free environment, not smoking, tobacco-free. Any questions on that? All right. Some of the things that we expect to see, some of it is we've negotiated off, like the word wall, because we went into Ratan, the standard, so we said that would take care of our word wall, because again, those are words associated with the standards. Posting work outside the classroom, we've kind of gone away from that because we started using the different other ways of feedback for the students, so we didn't have to post classwork outside the classroom. Engaging lessons tomorrow. I told some of the content teachers, but I think it's tomorrow. Ms. Conaway and Ms. Watts is going to give us some professional learning on inquiry-based lessons. That's what science is kind of going to. But when I saw, when I took part in a leadership thing and she did the sample lesson, it's something that we all need to start doing. So It's an inquiry-based lesson where really on our lesson plans, our work session is supposed to be student-centered. Our lessons are supposed to be student-centered. But this inquiry-based lesson, if we follow that, then it's going to help us give up some of that power and make us feel comfortable on making our lessons student-centered. And like I said earlier, when we were looking at the ethics video, the guy that had the boy up there talking about his brother had to go down, at the top of his, I don't know if y'all saw it, at the top of his board, and some of y'all know the saying, it says, tell me and I'll do something, and show me and I'll do something, but involve me and I'll learn. That's what inquiry-based lessons are. It's involving the students in the learning process. So come with an open mind, because that's what we're going to expect to see in helping us get where we need to get. Vocabulary words, we talked about it, raw time to standards. Talk about the vocabulary words, giving the kids prior knowledge, because if they don't understand the word, then they don't know what's going on. 6-step discipline plan. We'll cover that a little bit later in the thing. We talked about tardies, absent duties, and committees and all of that stuff. Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Amy. All right, parental contact, y'all know is very important just in this profession. You know, the administration, we do a lot of engagement conferences, and in those conferences, we talk about grades, we talk about attendance, we talk about, it gives us an opportunity to address all of those things. But you still need to, you know, be in parental contact so that we can get help from those parents and making sure their students are doing what they're supposed to and achieving. If you call somebody and it's a voicemail or something like that, then just document that you made an effort to call. Made a call, went to voicemail. Email, just go to options and hit delivery, receive, and read receipt. You know, then you got that, delivery. Delivered email on whatever. It was delivered on whatever, and that's what I do. I email, hit deliver receipt, and read receipt, then I just slide it over in my file. Because parents will, depending on what the situation is, they will say that nobody called them and told them anything. We had a parent this morning. How long we been doing dress code? Had a parent this morning, because the child got turned away for GMC started this morning. Child got turned away. Mom got upset. Nobody told her that he had to be in dress code. But yeah, GMC, Move On When Ready started this morning. Yeah, Move On When Ready started this morning. But nobody told her that the child had to be in dress code. So, but that's what they'll do. I had a parent, you know, our discipline forms are in triplicate. And she swore up and down, you didn't call me. And we looking at the yellow copy. So the white copy, the kid is at home with the child, and we looking at the yellow copy. And once I told her, well, ma'am, this is the yellow copy. I can't write on the yellow copy. Then she admitted that, oh yeah, you did call me. But they'll do that to us. And children is not achieving is our fault. And unfortunately, the way the world is now, we have to prove that we did do our due diligence to make those children successful. So, all right. Parent letters, y'all know all of that. You know, we have where's my parent letter committee? Do we have any members of my parent letter committee in here? Y'all raise your hands. Parent letter committee. Oh, they being shy now. Anyway, we got you on the parent letter committee? Okay. All right, y'all know a couple years, how many years y'all been doing that?